Welcome back. I'm Julie with Southern Charm Wreaths, where we teach you the art of wreath making and faux floristry. We're going to be making something simple and festive for Halloween. If you like silk flowers, ribbon, decorating your home for the holidays, you're in the right place. Make sure to give us a follow and a subscribe so you can see our next DIY. All right, so let's get started. I want to show you what we have on the design table. This is some fun stuff. All right. We got this little pick. It's not really little, it's actually pretty long. So we've got something that already has, I like to choose something that already has elements with it, okay? So we have pumpkin, so that would be considered our focal, all right? But we also have all of these little leaves. We've got branches, we've got what else? We got leaves in orange. We got another little mini pumpkin down here, right? So I choose, when I'm doing quick designs, I like to start with something that is already got most of the stuff already added, okay? Not to say that we couldn't make our own, and I've showed you how to make your own plenty of times when you can't get your hands on these things. But we're focusing the next couple of weeks on quick and easy, quick and easy. All right, so we've got this. It's got a lot of stuff already happening on it. All you have to do is just fluff it up, okay? The next thing we have is a shorter piece. So sometimes they come in long and sometimes they come in short. I love it when I can find that. If you can't, you can always divide one, but this one just coordinates really well with it. These leaves that are like bent over, you can take a steamer, you know, that you steam your clothes, and just give it a little steam, and it'll flatten itself out. But we ain't got time for that, and it is okay if it's not done, okay? Because technically, I mean, this is already like, you know how fall leaves are already crunchy and bent. Just keep it that way. Nobody's gonna know the difference. Your buyer's not gonna really be able to tell. All right, so you see how we have one pick that's shorter and then one pick that's longer. That's what we're starting with, a short and a long, all right? And then we're gonna grab something else that is going to beef this up. I guess I would call this a greenery, even though it's black. It's a filler. Just gonna take the time to shape and spread this out, right? We're just fluffing. Okay, do you see what I mean? Like it's spread out pretty far, okay? And then I have another one that I was trying to decide if I wanted to use. I do like that it adds that a little bit of shimmer, so that glams it up. But here's the ribbon that I wanted to use. I think I'm gonna use it, because to me it adds just a little bit of sparkle. So we've got a 2.5 inch wired ribbon and a 1.5 inch wired ribbon. Now these are things that you can create multiples at a time. Like you can literally, once you learn a couple of these, they come pretty fast and easy to you. You can just turn on like the Hallmark channel and start to create. I think let's go ahead and do it this way. Let's figure this out. Do I want it long? I feel like I want it long because we've got, this is pretty long. So we want the length, right? We want the length, but I'm gonna trim some of the width. I think I'm gonna cut it right here. Let's see, if I pull that, I'm scared it's gonna rip all that tape. Let's go ahead and pull it. There we go. We've got a little length on this, that's okay. That's what we need, a little length. This, we can just tape back together. All right, this is floral tape. I'm just gonna line this up where I want it. Okay, and we're just gonna tape this together. Here, I'm taking that little piece that we pulled off. I'm just going to set it to the side with that other small spray. Now let's take a look at this. All right, I also want to cut some of this off. think I'm going to cut this one. And I'm going to set that over there to the side. We'll just line that up here. All right, so we've got this. We're just going to layer. See how we're layering? Just going to give a little bend. The beauty of wire. All right, now let's layer this on top. And we're bringing some of that black in front of that orange. Y'all can do this. This is so easy. All it is intermingling the two together. Just looking for quick designs. You can use the same technique for Christmas. All right, you see what we did there? We just intermingled that. Okay, I'm going to lay that down. These are all stacked on top of each other. I'm going to grab something else. We've got this fun little candy piece because, hello, it is Halloween. We need the candy. Let's go ahead and trim that right here. Divide. We're just dividing. We're going to put it on top. We want this one to be seen, okay? We don't want it to be hidden. All right, now all of these can be moved and spread out because they're on these little coils, but I always do that last, okay? So now I'm going to grab a zip tie. I'm going to use this black one. We're going to zip tie this together. So don't forget, we have our workshop that's starting at the end of September, September 25th. We're doing a workshop where we can I'm going to teach you how to make Christmas, quick, simple Christmas designs. I have fall on the brain. I know it seems early for Christmas, but I'm telling you it's not, because by the time I give you the ideas and you like spark something, right? And then you go find something that you like to buy, and then you wait for it to come in, and then you've got to get in the mood to make it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I start planning before I start creating. Like I'll be on the sofa and I'm like watching Christmas movies and stuff. You know, that Hallmark movie starts literally in October. So I'll just, you know, get in the mood of it before I start to actually do anything about it. And so I start planning out maybe changing a theme, or where do I want to add another ribbon. You know, so it's really, now is the time to start thinking about it. Don't worry about the shape yet. We can shape everything later. So we've got one, this is a hand-tied spray, right, that we just did. It looks super cute, okay? And now we're going to do another one, but it's a mini version of that. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. So what do? We had a long pick, a short pick, one candy, and one of those 60919 black. Very few things. Okay, so we've got two pieces. This is the bottom, the longer, and this is the top, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn these like this, and we're going to zip tie this together just like that. Now, obviously, you cannot stack this on top, and you can't stack this on top. You can see they're lining up right beside each other, okay, on the table, and that's where I'm going to zip tie. Now, how far do I leave between them, right? It just depends on how much of a bow you want. I'm going to put a bow right here that's going to merge the two pieces together, and I typically use the width of my hand, so it's about 3 inches. You know, you don't have to be exact here. Just know that the larger this space or distance, the bigger your bow is going to have to be, all right? And we're going to zip tie these two together. Now, this is where you might zip tie in a couple of places. All right, so we've got our spray hand-tied. Isn't that fun? Really cool. All right, so now let's pull over our ribbon. So we've got a 2.5 inch wired, all right, Harlequin, and then we have a 1.5 inch Candy corn. Who likes candy corn? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the length of this to measure the bottom length of the long piece, okay? This is the long piece, and I'm just going to hold this up and measure that out, okay? I want it to be roughly the same length or maybe just a little bit longer, okay? That's about how long I want it. I could see the tip at the end, and this is the long swag that we made. All right, I'm going to pinch this together. And then we're going to measure out our ribbon. I'm going to do 6 inches on our mat, or 12 inches on our mat, and that is going to make a 6-inch loop. Okay, fold it over. You're going to pinch and pleat, and then you're going to twist. You can use the bow maker if you want to do this. This is another thing I would recommend if you're trying to make things quick for your Etsy shop or craft. Let's say you have a craft show coming up. You could pre-make these bows, like do batch order. You can do everything in batches. So you could do all of your bows, you can do all of your sprays, zip tied, you know, you can, and then you're just assembling on the day, you know, another day, not the day of, obviously. All right, so I did 3 loops. They're all the same. I'm going to make this one about 8 inches, and then I'm going to trim about that length, about 8 inches. I'm going to do the same thing, but in reverse. So we've got 2 loops on one side of our thumb, 1 loop on the other. And when I reverse the direction, it's going to balance it off, balance it out. So now I'm going to put my little streamer going above my thumb like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my loops. There's 1, 2, and I'm twisting after each one. 3. Twist, and then I'm going to make this also short. And now I'm just going to shimmy those 1.5 on top. Check my loops. Okay. Now here is where you can decide to put another ribbon, which is fun. I think it's very whimsical when you add more patterns and prints, but we're all about the easy this week, right? We're all about simple and easy and inexpensive. I'm just going to grab another piece of that ribbon that we first started with, and I'm coming in a little shorter. And this is going to be my center. Grab some wire. You can use pipe cleaner. I'm going to use florist wire. Okay, so you're just shaping it in your hand. All right, and then you're going to turn it and flip it over. The bow is going to be pulled closer to me, okay? And the wire is going to be pulled away from me. At the same time, I'm going to twist. 1, 2, 3. All right, make sure you guys, if you're interested, so our workshop starts in a couple of weeks. We're going to be doing about 9 projects, I think, in 3 days. Some is going to be live, some is going to be pre-recorded. We do have some kits also. We're going to be doing wreaths, swags, arrangements, what else? Lantern toppers, you know, things like that. All right, so now we pull over our swag. I'm going to attach this by using the wire. The wire has this little antennas or legs, and you're just going to straddle that spine of your swag and then twist, okay? You want it to get really tight. All right. So we have this. Now, do you see this long stick? Remember these sticks that were so long? We obviously don't need these anymore. We've got some on the bottom and some on the top. So you're just going to be very careful when you cut. You don't want to cut the wrong thing. You're going to trim these off. We trim these off just to give it a little less weight. Now here is where I personally like to make something look a little more elegant. I don't necessarily want to see all of these mechanics on the back side. So look, there's a leaf that fell off right here. I can easily just hot glue this leaf right here to cover up all of my mechanics. So I've got my glue heated up. Just going to put some glue on the back side of that leaf. My glue is really hot. Let me turn it down. Okay, and we're just laying it on top of those zip ties right there and that wire right there. We're just going to hold that in place. The workshop, if you go to simplechristmasdesigns.com, you can see the price. A ton of information for a little bit of money. All right, so you see how we have that on there. Now, how do we attach it to things? You need some wire. And I'm going to use this rustic wire. This is an 18 gauge. It has, it's very thick, and it's got, it's wrapped. It's wrapped in a paper or something, I don't know, some kind of paper. All right, we're going to grab a little piece of that. The reason I decided to do the workshop is because, you know, I just pay attention to either what our, you know, what everybody keeps asking me to make or what's going on with my own buyers. And I've noticed that my buyers are looking for a little less, you know, a little less design, a little less money. And that's okay. We don't need to know exactly what's going on. It could be the economy. It could just be the collective consciousness is shifting to less is more mindset, which it does occasionally. You know, everything has got its cycle. You've got some years that are massive. Everybody's spending tons of money, and then you got some months, or I'm sorry, seasons where people are kind of cutting back. And you know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter why. It just matters that we as business owners need to be able to pivot and be able to provide customers to stay in business, but also, you know, help them. It's all about helping your ideal customer. All right, so I'm going to take that long streamer. Remember that long streamer that we cut for the bottom? I'm just going to take it to the back right here, and I'm going to put a little glue right there just to hold it in place. Now you can use U-glue. If you're a Everblue member, you know what I like. I like all my tools. U-glue is just a quick tape that you don't have to worry about it drying or anything. But since I don't have it out, I'm just going to go ahead and use what I have, and that's my hot glue. Now just be careful, because that hot glue will come through that fabric. You don't want to burn yourself. So you can use a silicone anything and just kind of hold over it. Yes, if you can't join it live, you can watch it on the replay. You can also watch this on the replay as well. Thank you for that question, Amber. All right. See how we've got that? Now, we're not done. You think we're done, but I mean, it looks cute already like it is, right? It already looks super, super cute. Okay, not a lot of effort. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to fluff. Where do we want to put this? I think I'm going to put mine on a lantern. I'm going to show you other places you can put it in a minute. Let's get my lantern out here. I'm just going to put this on my 18-inch tall lantern. Use that wire to secure it around the chimney of that lantern. Okay, just like that. We're not done though. We've got a little more things to add. First, I want to look at my ribbon and see if I can't pull some of this ribbon on the other side to kind of balance it out. All right, and then I'm going to dovetail. Just dovetail anywhere you want the length. You don't want to cut them too short. You want the ribbon to stand, like, pop out of the swag. Just give a little finish touch. All right, now, do we see? Okay, so you're going to bend your pumpkin up closer to the bow, and then this other pumpkin on the top, you're just going to bend it closer to the bow. All right, so you're kind of squishing the bow together. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do is start to shape. Now, this is a very straight line, okay? I'm going to bend this closer to the swag, to the, what is it called, the lantern. Go where the spine is. You just want to gently bend it so that it starts to curve with that lantern. And now I want to take a look at the shape, okay? So you can see that there is a little thing right here that's sticking out. So you're looking at the repetition of your product on one side, repetition of a product on the other side, and you're trying to balance the two sides together. All right, the repetition and how close these things are together, that's called your, oh my God, I just had it in my head and all of a sudden it flew out, the rhythm, the rhythm. That's called rhythm in floristry. So what I want to do first is I'm going to look at see if I can either bend it or cut it. I think this is what's going to take the most amount of time. Just getting the shape. So all I did was pulled some candy up and out, and I shaped that to fan it down. All right, we're going to do the bottom, and then we're going to get our candy pulled out. Just don't pull by the actual candy. So we're just spreading that out down there. Now, all these little things that I've cut off, I'm going to take a look around my bow and add some. So we already know we can add this candy that we just cut off. Let's add that back. I'm just going to glue it in to my bow loops. Right in here. Let's see if I can see it. Okay, you're going to hold it right there and let it dry. All right, then we have this leaf. Find a place around the bow loops to add that. Right, I don't know if you see it, it's like right about here, there is this hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this larger pumpkin out, I think, on the top, and we're moving it down here. And this is when my little black zip tie will come in handy by moving that pumpkin down and adding it there. All right, we still see the pumpkin up here. I'm also going to cut this leaf and move it down. And then any black leaves that I might want to move, let's do, oh, that looks good back here. I think I'm going to move this one. All right, that's what we have. I'm going to see if I can't put a ribbon over on this one side. Feels like it needs another ribbon. I'm just going to go in with a pick. I'm going to stick it in the back of the pumpkin. I'm going to dovetail that little ribbon, and then we're going to roll it. It feels a little more balanced with that one ribbon over here that I added. What do we think? This piece is just a little bit big for this lantern. It would probably be better on a 24 inch because it's touching the table, right? But I wanted to keep it big because I wanted to show you something. So all you have to do is take it off, and this is what you sell. Okay, so this is what you're putting in your Etsy shop. This is what you're putting in your craft booth, right? Just this. You're not selling the lantern. I don't ship lanterns or anything like that. I ship this. Now, what else could we do with this? Okay, let me show you. You can quickly get a 24-inch teardrop swag, black because it matches. You could lay this on top, secure it with that wire that we have on the back. I'm just going to hold it up. All right, so now you've increased this cost point by just taking it and adding it on to a swag base. So let's say you're at your craft show and a customer's like, I love that, but I don't have any lanterns. You pull out your base, the black base, and you can say, no problem, I can easily and quickly turn this into a swag, and you already know what the different price point is because you've added a swag. So fast, so simple, right? The other thing you could do is find yourself a pretty wreath, spray paint a grapevine wreath, and then you can add it to a wreath. So you can show your customer how to use your product. If you can teach them how to use it in 3 different ways, you're more likely to make a sale. All right, so literally you can add this very quickly and easily onto a wreath, and now you've got something that you can sell it as a swag, you can sell it as a wreath. I would take photos of this on my Etsy shop of using it all different ways, but then the primary photo, the main photo, needs to just be the swag so that they know they're only getting the swag. But you can demonstrate that there are 3 different ways to use it. I have used this same wire, okay, on the back, and I have used it to put it over sconces on either side of my door or my garage door. Quick and easy, okay? The other thing you can do is put this on a mailbox. You can have it on one side, you can have it on 2 sides of a mailbox. You can also take this same wire, wire it together, create a loop. Now I have a loop, and I can hang this on a door. So you don't even need anything in the back. So quick. So again, this is what we're teaching, stuff like this inside of our workshop in a couple of weeks. Actually, it's the September 25th. Come join us, simplechristmasdesigns.com. We're going to be doing things like this. We're going to be doing arrangements. We're going to be doing simple, quick wreaths, swags, lantern toppers. I call it my money bow. We're going to be doing bow making, bow talking, and also ways to use scraps. We didn't have any scraps with this one, but ways to use up your scraps so that you can extend your investment in your products, right? We are all meant to get creative. So I hope you get creative this weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye. Don't forget to follow. All right. Bye.